Hello students, this is Waqar Ahmed, your economics teacher from Cambridge International School, Dasua. And in today's class, we will continue our chapter number 9, excess demand and efficient demand. But before moving on to the new topics, I would like you to recall that we talked about excess demand, inflationary gap and diagrammatic presentation of inflationary gap. The situation of full employment equilibrium, which is kind of an ideal situation, prevails in an economy when AD is equal to AS. Yesterday we talked what happens if AD is greater than AS. That rises or that leads to the situation of over full employment equilibrium, which is known as excess demand or inflationary gap. And in the situation of excess demand, people have got more money in their pocket, but availability of goods and services is less. So what happens that the general price level of the economy keeps on rising on a regular basis, which generally is known as situation of inflation. So in the situation of inflation, purchasing power of rupee decreases or currency decreases, and people are less well off although they have got more money, and that is why inflation or excess demand after a certain level is considered bad or not good for the households and firms both. Now, deficient demand, and it refers to the situation when AD is less than AS at full employment level of income. Suppose full employment level of income is 10,000 crore and AD is 8,000 crore. So, this gap of 2,000 crore will be referred as deficient demand or deficit demand for that economy. For example, if AD required to establish equilibrium, full employment equilibrium of income in the economy is 10,000 crore, and AS will also be 10,000 crore, but current AD is 8,000 crore. So what happens or what will happen in that economy is that goods and services of 10,000 crore are available, but households and firms have together got only 8,000 crore in their pockets. So more quantity, more amount of good is available and less money is there in that economy. So what will happen is that every producer would like to finish off its stock, and there will be competition among the producers. So this will give rise to decrease in prices, or it will create a situation of falling prices in that economy. And this situation, when general price level fall or decrease over a period of time, is known as deflation for that economy, and it is generally considered much worse than inflation because it is or it decreases production, which decreases employment, which decreases national income of that economy, and it is kind of chaos in that economy. So every economy tries to avoid this situation of deficient demand more than to avoid the situation of excess demand. Now, deflationary gap. So deflationary gap is a gap or is a situation when actual AD 8,000 crore is less than the AD required to establish full employment equilibrium 10,000 crore, as we already talked about. So it is called deflationary. Why it is called deflationary? Because it creates kind of a situation which will continuously decrease output, income and employment in an economy. And as I just told you that it is a very bad situation. And why is that? We should, as customers or households, be happy that prices are decreasing and the purchasing power of our currency is increasing and we can buy more with less amount. So why I say that this is not a good situation even for households. There is a reason behind it, and that reason is that think over this point, that if prices are continuously decreasing in an economy, then the producers will have no incentive to invest money in R&D, means research and technology or research and development. So what will happen, that we will be using same type of goods, same quality of goods for over and over and over again. So we will have no innovation, no research will take place in the firms, and our quality of life will decrease, our standard of life will decrease, because prices are decreasing, firms have no incentive to put money in research and development, and without R&D you cannot transform the quality, transform the goods, or provide better quality goods. So basically we might think that prices are decreasing, we will be more well off, can purchase more goods, but over a period of time, as you can see in your daily life around yourself, earlier we used to have those push button phones, then came touch screen phones, then full screen phones. So what is this? This is research and development. Mobile companies are putting more and more money in R&D. They are providing us better quality goods, new kind of goods. But if they knew that prices will decrease and they will have to provide goods and services with less price again and again, so they will have no incentive to put money in R&D, quality of life will decrease, so it will basically affect us in a negative manner. So that's why this situation of deficient demand or deflationary gap is not considered good. Now diagrammatic presentation, and in this diagram OX axis measures output or income level and OY axis measures aggregate demand. AD1, which is the AD required to establish full employment equilibrium, intersects AS at point E, which is full employment table of equilibrium, and in this corresponding to point E, the equilibrium level of output is OY, but the actual AD is represented by AD2 curve, which intersects AS at point F or point C, we can see. So this gap of EC or CE is representing deflationary gap, because as we took an example that AD required is 10,000 point E, but actual AD is 8,000 point C. So we can say that this gap of EC represents 2000 crore or a deflationary gap. Now if you remember from our last class, why this deflationary gap happens in that economy or exists in an economy, it is because that AD is equals to C plus I minus delta I, means generally deflationary gap happens when the existing investment goes away from an economy to some other economies, or from an area to some other area, which decreases investment, and because of multiplier effect it decreases the income of that area, and the situation of deflationary gap happens. Numericals of chapter number 8, I'll just go through them individually, and first is question number 2 of the worksheet, in which Y, C bar and MPC is given, and we need to find out the value of consumption expenditure. So we know that the linear consumption equation is C is equals to C bar plus BY, all the values are given. As you can see that we put the values 800 plus 0.5 which is MPC multiplied by 2500 which is national income. We will get consumption expenditure as 2050 crore. Now next question, question number 3, in which MPS, the value of MPS is given and the value of investment delta I is given, and we need to find out the value of delta Y or increase in national income. We also need to calculate the value of multiplier. So first we will use the formula of K, which is K is equals to 1 upon MPS. So it's 1 upon 0.25 or 4. So the value of investment multiplier will be 4. Now we will use the second formula of multiplier, which is K is equals to delta Y upon delta I, and we put the values. So 4 is equals to delta Y, which we need to find out, upon 125. So delta Y will be 4 multiplied by 125, cross multiplication is equals to 500. So increase in national income will be rupees 500 crore if with a multiplier of 4 investment is increased by 125 crore. Now question number 4, in which linear saving equation S is equals to minus 400 plus 0.25 Y and investment 600 crore are given, and we need to find out equilibrium level of national income. And we know that at equilibrium level of national income, S is always equal to I. So by putting the values of S and I, we will get minus 400 plus 0.25 Y is equal to 600. And by solving this, means by taking Y on one side and numerals on one side, it will be 0.25 Y is equals to 6 minus minus 400, minus minus will become plus. So it will be 0.25 Y is equals to 1000, or Y is equals to 1000 divided by 0.25. So equilibrium level of national income in this case will come out to be 4,000 crores. Now question number 6 of the worksheet, which is a very easy question. Consumption equation is given and we need to derive saving equation from this. And we all know that C is equal to C bar plus BY, and we can convert it into saving equation as minus C bar plus 1 minus B phi. So if C is 100 plus 0.6 Y, S will become minus 100 plus 1 minus 0.6 Y, or S is minus 100 plus 0.4 Y. Question number 7, the values of S and I are given and we need to find out equilibrium level of national income. And we have already discussed that at equilibrium level of national income, S is always equal to I. Putting the values of both the equations, minus 100 plus 0.2 Y is equal to minus 30 plus 0.1 Y. By taking Y on one side and numbers on another side, we will get 0.2 Y minus 0.1 Y is equal to 100. It was minus 100, but by changing the side, it has changed its sign as well. It has become plus. So 100 minus 30. So 0.2 Y minus 0.1 Y is equal to 0.1 Y. 100 minus 30 is equal to 70. So it becomes 0.1 Y is equal to 70, and Y is 70 upon 0.1 or 700. So in this question, the equilibrium level of national income will be 700 crore. Now question number 9 of the worksheet, in which we need to find out the equilibrium level of national income, the value of C bar, B, which is MPC, and I are given. So in equilibrium situation, AD is equal to AS, or we can write C plus I is equal to Y, or by substituting the value of consumption equation, C bar plus BY plus I is equal to Y. Now putting the values 1000 plus 0.8 Y plus 50, which is I, is equal to Y. By balancing this these equations, y minus 0.8y is equal to 1000 plus 50, or y minus 0.8y equal to 0.2y is equal to 1050, or y is equal to 1050 upon 0.2, so which is 5250, or equilibrium level of national income in this question will be 5250 crores. So the basic thing is that after putting the values, the most crucial step is balancing both sides. We will take y on one side and numbers on another side, and this will be the methodology, or this is the way to go forward in most of the numericals in which equilibrium level of y, c or s is asked by the evaluator. Now question number 15 of the worksheet, in which linear saving equation and I are given. We need to find out equilibrium level of y and c. So first step will be, you can do it another way as well. So first step will be to convert this equation of s into c, which will become, as you can see, c is equal to 1000 plus 0.5y. Now B step, in equilibrium situation, AD is always equal to AS. Putting the values, C plus I is equal to Y, or 1000 plus 0.5Y plus 500 is equal to Y, or balancing the equation, Y minus 0.5Y is equal to 1500. Now Y will become 1500 upon 0.5, which is 3000. So equilibrium level of national income will be rupees 3000 crore. Now we can use this value of y in consumption equation to find out the value of c in the last step. So c will become 1000 plus 0.5 multiplied by 3000, or 1000 plus 1500, or 2500. So consumption expenditure, or c, at equilibrium level of income will be 2500 crore. Now question number 16, which is very similar to question number 15 with a minor change. In question number 15, the saving equation was given, we converted it into consumption equation, but in question number 16, direct consumption equation is given with value of investment expenditure, and we need to calculate equilibrium level of national income, consumption expenditure and savings. So by solving the question number 15, you can easily solve question number 16 as well. So I will not be explaining it any further, but you just need to keep in mind that in question number 15, saving equation was given, we converted it into consumption equation. In this question, consumption equation is directly given, so we need not to go through step first. Step B and C will remain same. And in this equation, or sorry, in this question, we need to find out savings as well, and we know that S is equal to Y minus C. So through this step, we can find out saving at equilibrium level of national income in this question. So that's it for today. In today's class, we learned about deficient demand, deflationary gap, and graphical presentation of deflationary gap. So if in excess demand, more money in the pockets, vice versa, deficient demand means less money in the pocket. So what is the role of government in rectifying these situations of disequilibrium in the economy, or how can government control the situation of excess demand and deficient demand in the economy? For this, government has got many instruments and policies which it uses according to the situation, and out of those, in tomorrow's lesson we will talk about the fiscal policy of a government. So you can Google what fiscal policy is or what are the constituents of fiscal policy. Rest we will discuss in tomorrow's class. So that's it for today. Stay healthy, stay safe, and bye.